This is Sunday School Lesson for October the 10th, 2019. The title of this lesson is Humble Faith. Scripture text for this lesson is Luke chapter 7, verses 1 through 10. Background scripture is James chapter 5, 13 through 18. This will be read by the New Living Translation.
When Jesus had finished saying all this to the people, he returned to Capernaum. At that time, the highly valued slave of a Roman officer was sick and near death. When the officer heard about Jesus, he sent some respected Jewish elders to ask him to come and heal his slave. So they earnestly begged Jesus to help the man. "If anyone deserves your help, he does," they said, "for he loves the Jewish people and even built a synagogue for us." So Jesus went with them. But just before they arrived at the house, the officer sent some friends to say, "Lord, don't trouble yourself by coming to my home, for I am not worthy of such an honor. I'm not even worthy to come and meet you. Just say the word from where you are, and my servant will be healed. I know this because I am under the authority of my superior officers, and I have authority over my soldiers. I only need to say go, and they go, or come, and they come. And if I say to my slaves, 'Do this,' they do it." When Jesus heard this, he was amazed. Turning to the crowd that was following him, he said, "I tell you, I haven't seen faith like this in all Israel." And when the officer's friends returned to his house, they found the slave completely healed.
This passage marks a turning point in Luke's account of Jesus' ministry. Up to this point, Jesus had dealt exclusively with the Jews. Here he begins to include the Gentiles. Notice who the main characters are in this sort of drama. The Jewish elders, a Roman officer, and the officer's slave. Very different racial and religious backgrounds and vastly different standings on the social ladder. Jesus broke through all those barriers all the way to the sick man's need. The gospel travels well across ethnic, racial, national, and religious barriers. Are you willing to work through them as well? Jesus was no respecter of artificial divisions, and we should follow his example. Reach out to those whom Jesus came to save. This Roman officer was a centurion, meaning he was a captain in charge of 100 men. The officer heard about Jesus, so obviously also heard about Jesus' healing power. He sent a request through some of the Jewish elders on behalf of his slave. He may have heard about the healing of the Roman official's son, which probably occurred earlier. See John 4:46 through 54. He knew Jesus had the power to heal his slave. Matthew 8:5 says the Roman officer visited Jesus himself, while Luke 7:3 says he sent Jewish elders to present his request to Jesus. In those days, dealing with a person's messengers was considered the same as dealing with the one who had sent them. Thus, in dealing with the messengers, Jesus was dealing with the officer. For his Jewish audience, Matthew emphasized the Roman soldier's faith. For his Gentile audience, Luke highlighted the good relationship between the Jewish elders and the Roman officer. This army captain daily delegated work and sent groups on missions. So this was how he chose to get his message to Jesus. Don't forget to like and thumbs up the video. The Roman officer didn't come to Jesus, and he didn't expect Jesus to come to him. Just as this officer did not need to be present to have his orders carried out, so Jesus didn't need to be present to heal. The officer's faith was especially amazing because he was a Gentile who had not been brought up to know a loving God. Most of Jesus' healings take place with the sick or possessed person before him. Just one chapter in Mark contains many examples. Mark 1:25, 26, 30 through 34, 40 through 42. The centurion remains confident that Jesus can give the word to effect his servant's healing. The centurion has grasped something that many in Israel never will. Jesus has the authority and power to heal whomever he chooses, as he ushers in God's kingdom on earth. Strictly speaking, to marvel at someone or something does not require expressing surprise, but only recognizing that person or thing as being worthy of admiration. We too may marvel at the centurion's great faith. It's a thing of wonder, even though it does not surprise us after many readings. Jesus frequently draws a crowd wherever he goes. Now he simply turns to the elders and the people who are following him. Jesus points out the irony of the Gentiles' faith in the face of Jewish unbelief, compare Acts 13:46 and 47. This dovetails with rejection Jesus already faced, Luke 5:21 and 30, chapter 6, 7, and through 11. And yet is faced in the months ahead. These elders, for their part, act unlike most other elders in response to Jesus' ministry. So Jesus may commend the elders for their faith as well. Approaching Jesus shows that they too believe that he can heal the servant. This serves to highlight, as well as the centurion's faith, that Jesus need not even be present in order to heal the servant. Also check the description or the screen for a related video. Go thy way, and as thou hast believed, so be it done unto thee. Matthew 8:13. Jesus accomplishes precisely what the centurion anticipates. He makes the servant whole. Does Jesus even have to speak in order to heal the servant? The centurion would not be surprised to hear that Jesus never spoke a word after commending his faith. Faith can be found in surprising places. As a leader in the occupational force in Judea, the centurion faced hatred and resentment from the Jewish people who didn't know him. The easy and typical response would be to return the sentiment. But this centurion loved the Jewish nation. He trusted Jesus before and better than many in Israel ever would. His life experiences made him humble in the face of the true authority he recognized in Jesus. For this reason, his faith was simply marvelous. That concludes this lesson. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Have a good one.